We're now joined by number 15 ranked UFC middleweight Ian Heinisch. Our first question goes to Gabriel Gonzalez with Kate Cypress.
Hey Ian, you're coming off a nice win in June. What's the mood going into this one?
It's the same mood. I made a ton of changes coming off those two close losses that I suffered last year, and I'm building that momentum. That confidence is building. I've assembled a new team, new coaches, and I just feel my momentum's picking up, and I'm excited to have the Hurricane 2.0 put on another show this Saturday.
Obviously, you had the injury, so you weren't able to make it to the last fight. Did you watch his fight against Kyle that night, and what were your thoughts on his performance?
Yeah, it was a huge bummer, man. I was really trying to take advantage of the COVID times, especially coming off a 1 minute knockout. I was trying to get that quick turnaround. Unfortunately, got injured first week back to training. And yeah, I got to watch Brendan Allen fight a debut guy who I believe is a 170 pounder. And, I wasn't impressed. It was a back and forth fight. It was an entertaining fight to watch, but I seen so many holes in his game, and I believe I'm going to capitalize on that. And dude's just not quite at my level yet, and I'm going to give him his first lesson in the UFC, and I'm going to move on to my aspiration of being the champ and start climbing those ranks again.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have both been the LFA middleweight champion. I don't know about the timing per se, but was he ever on your radar for a fight before coming to UFC?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some words exchanged on Twitter in the past, and I got the belt before him. I got the call before him. And yeah, I mean, we've kind of came up together. He's fought some of my buddies like Eric Anders, and yeah, I mean, I knew eventually we were gonna fight, and he earned his shot. He's coming off, 3 or 4 wins in a row, and unfortunately, I was climbing and almost got. I was in the top 10 for a little bit, but unfortunately suffered a loss to the number 7 guy post decision. So I got to prove myself again to show the UFC that I'm ready to continue to climb the ladder and go after that belt again. So I knew I was going to fight this guy at some point, and I'm really happy that it's happening this Saturday.
Final question for me. What are you most looking forward to showing for yourself in Saturday's fight?
Just with the move, went to Thailand, then switched gyms, then trained at Extreme Couture, trained at Genesis, trained a little bit with Elevation. I've learned so much. I've grown so much. My last fight, I didn't get to quite show it all. People saw my movement with just a little bit of the fight you got to see, which was a minute. And I'm excited just to show how much improvement I've made, and truly being the new Hurricane 2.0, and a real threat for this middleweight division.
Thank you.
Yep.
Up next, we'll go to Santino Honasan with Sportskeeda.
Hi Ian.
How's it
You
going?
hear me? Hey, how's it going? Um, Based on a previous interview, you spoke about having to go and face unranked fighters, uh, working up the rankings, so to speak. How important is being able to uh, power through or go through these kinds of fights? Obviously, fighters want the big names or want to be able to face the big names as immediately as possible. But uh, how important is being able to take fights like these against unranked fighters?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fighting these. I'm at the end of the rankings list. At the moment, I was top 10. I fought these ranked, big name, tough fighters almost immediately in my career in the UFC. And so now, I'm at the tail end. I've took some close decision losses. I've made some adjustments. I've made some changes, and I'm truly a new fighter. And now it's just adding to the highlight reel. I'm just putting wins together so the UFC can get behind me, and I can build some momentum, build my following, and I can get into these big profile fights and get into these main events, and get back to where I was and continue to climb in the rankings to get that belt.
All right. So if you're able to get past Brendan Allen this weekend, do you expect to be getting a step up in competition in your next fight?
You know, when I get past Brendan Allen this Saturday, you know, we're gonna, you know, have a conversation with my manager and my coaches, and we're just looking for opportunities, man. This is COVID times. A lot of the guys are booked. You know, these guys keep calling me out. Mearshart called me out. Allen called me out. I handled Mearshart. About to handle Allen. You know, Vittori called me out. I know he's got a fight booked, but if something opens up, I'll be ready. I'm ready for whatever, man. You know, I feel like I'm ready for any challenge, and we'll just see what opportunity comes my way.
All right, just last question for me very quickly. Spoke about the Hurricane 2.0. You know, we know you've been a lot through a lot in your life. From then to now, how much has changed, and how much has it been like? How much improvement has it been for you?
Yeah, the improvement's huge, and not just with fighting. You know, the improvement spiritually, physically, mentally, has just grown so much. It's just I'm more well-rounded as a human being, and that makes me such a dangerous fighter. And just being able to control my future, my career, the way I want it to be controlled, and being able to travel and do things I love, and make the calls that I need to make for my company, my business, and God bringing me with some of the best coaches in the world, Jacob Ramos at Genesis, and you know, with Peter Straub and Eric from Extreme Couture. You know, just blessed, man, to have all these coaches in my life, and yeah, you're gonna see a big difference. You already saw a big difference in my last fight, and that was 5 months ago. So just imagine now.
All right, thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question is from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting.
Ian, you've talked a lot about, working with the new team and the guys you're working with. Usually we hear that, when you work with new coaches, new teammates, it usually takes a little while to get acclimated and, kind of get used to each other. What do you feel like has been the biggest difference since you've kind of been a bit of a nomad over these last 6 or 8 months where you've been in Thailand and you're Extreme Couture? I know you're still training in Colorado. Like, what's that been like for you, and how much better do you feel now going into this fight, even versus the last one?
Yeah, I mean, it feels so much better. I mean, I feel like, there was a lot of pressure that last fight. I did feel the nerves because I hadn't fought so long. I made so many changes, and it's kind of like right before you walk out, you're like, did I do the right thing? You sometimes even question that. And to see all my hard work and all these hard decisions I had to make just come to fruition and come together the way I always imagined it, and for me to put on a almost flawless performance. It was just awesome. Now the confidence is growing, the momentum is growing, the hype's growing, and I feel like it's all about that. And my mental game is just so much stronger. And I'm the type of guy, man. I just seem like I flourish when I'm in these chaotic situations with kind of being a nomad and moving and training here and new training partners. Because I mean, you always get those new nerves when you come to a new gym. And but the good thing is I have the same coaches that were with me my last fight. That has stayed the same, and just minus Eric from Extreme Couture because he couldn't make this one. And but I'm excited, man, and you guys are going to be excited when you get to see this performance on Saturday.
There's no one size fits all when it comes to training in MMA. Some guys or girls flourish in a team atmosphere. Other people kind of like the more boxing style where you build personally instead of having 50 guys around you. It seems like you're kind of going more building a camp around you. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've just been going around really seeing what works for me, and I encourage other fighters out there. Like, I feel like a cookie cutter style for everyone is not the answer, because every fighter is different. And unfortunately too, with COVID, has made it a lot more difficult than it used to be, for sure. So you almost kind of have to build your camp around you, just because you see how many people are popping for COVID in gyms that have to shut down. So I've been kind of dodging that like the plague, bouncing out from different gym, like getting out of there just in time. And yeah, I do enjoy, kind of having that camp around me, built around me. And I feel like I'm at the point in my career where I've earned it. I can make enough to financially support that. And yeah, I mean, I love the team atmosphere. I love having a team behind me. But at the end of the day, I need one or two or three great training partners and these great coaches with their eyes on me. And that's where I improve the best.
And you mentioned that, going into this fight where you're at number 15 in the rankings, and you've been in the top 10, as you mentioned, but we have kind of a weird thing going on right now, like the hype versus reality in the division, where some guys are making, you know, giant leaps ahead without necessarily being tested. You look at a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, who I think is a supremely talented guy, but, you know, three in the number 3 ranked welterweight, and he beat a guy in Gerald Mearshart, a guy you knocked out. Is it weird or frustrating when you see those kind of things happening where guys are kind of taking big leaps ahead? And Brendan Allen's a great opponent, but obviously he's not ranked right now.
Yeah, you know, absolutely, man. I don't try to get jealous about anyone's career path or their journey because everyone's different, man, and God has different plans for different people. And you know, I would have loved to fight Hamazat. You know, I was one of the guys that was like, bro, like I'm ranked. You want to test yourself into the rankings? Like I'm here. I feel like we kind of have similar styles. We have great ground game. We both have great boxing and striking as well. When I was out in Thailand, I loved training with all those Russian guys and Extreme Couture. You know, those are the guys I'm attracted to because their mentality. I like their grappling. I like their just their style. Even when I was 13 years old, I was traveling to Moscow, Russia, and Ulan-Ude, which was in Siberia, competing against these Russian guys. I love the challenge. So I would have loved that challenge, but you know, good for him. He got a huge jump. He passed everyone to fight Leon Edwards, and you know, I felt like he kind of ducked me and Neil, but you know, that's his path. I'm not hating on him. We both knocked out the same guy. I think he did it about you know, maybe 50 seconds quicker than me, but yeah, man, it's crazy how this sport works. You just got to be ready for opportunities when they come knocking, and that's what I'm just gonna keep doing. That's all I can control, and so I'm gonna, God willing, get through this fight and looking to maybe fight on the same card as Hamazat, and who knows what the future holds.
Well, he said he wants to do middleweight and welterweight. I assume if the opportunity came about, you would jump at the chance to fight him again.
I would fight him tomorrow, like if anytime, like as long as like I'm healthy, which I am, and yeah, I would love that opportunity. I would love that challenge.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.
All the time we have for you today, Ian. Thank you.
Thank you.